Awesome. Well, welcome everybody this morning. We're pumped to have you. We're glad to be back. It's the Money Talk Show with Dane, where we talk about topics relating to money, specifically crypto and real estate here. We're all grown up. Corey mentioned that this morning. We have our intro video that the Proof of Beards here that's on our
Oh
show
yeah.
today created for us. So we are really excited to talk to him, do some Pulsechain updates, all that type of stuff. So welcome. We're pumped to have everybody on. Before we intro Proof of Beards, Corey, take it away.
Yeah, Crypto Millionaires with Corey Geary, and just like you said, we're just here to discuss some crypto news that's going on in our ecosystem, which is a lot of fun. And we are on a mission to bring on as many entrepreneurs as we can for this journey to wealth creation. And we can use crypto as a wealth creation tool, and then down the road, use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. We can really create some legacy wealth for us and our family. And I think we are in the right time, right place, right time, right now, with us being this bloody bear market with Pulsechain about to launch. And it's just been an absolute blast to bring all this this knowledge to you guys and rock and roll with a bunch of family and friends. And we're truly blessed today to have Proof of Beard on, who is an OG Hexican. He's been in the community for a long time. He's got some stories, obviously, he probably could share with us. And he's the one that created our intro video today, which is absolutely phenomenal. We might have to play it a couple times just to kind of get the buzz out while everyone's watching. We build up the audience here.
Yeah.
But man, thank you so much, Proof of Beards, for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Always fun to get on a stream when the one of my intros is first launching, because it's always exciting because everyone is often when you make videos or art in general, I think sometimes you just make it and then you're not there when there's a reaction or whatever, and then you can feel like I just made something and no one really cares. But then if you actually go on a show and show it to people, it feels a lot more like you see the reactions of people. It's pretty cool. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, very cool. We're pumped to have you. What other intro videos have you actually? Let's jump into. So, talk to us a little bit about how you ended up in crypto, how you ended up in the Richard Hart ecosystem, and then we'll get into more what you're doing today, who you've created videos for, and all that type of stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty similar story to a lot of people, I think. um uh, I can't really remember actually how I got into crypto. i
Whoa.
just I just saw some things online, and I saw, oh, Bitcoin is going to whatever price, and I started to learn a bit about Ethereum. This was right around, I don't know, 2017 or something.
Okay.
And yeah, I just bought some. I I basically just bought some stuff, and then I started learning about it, because the way I saw it, I just so I was studying. I was 18 or something, I think. Yeah. Um and I figured, well, I don't know where this world is going, but it's definitely going to be more digital. So I guess the crypto stuff is the closest to that. And if it's not that, that will be the first place you will hear about the new thing. So I just went there and just started reading and listening to a lot of YouTubers, and learned a lot of stuff that was kind of useless. And then yeah, then Bitcoin Cash came around. I didn't understand any of it, but it makes me understand the Pulsechain fork better. So I'm happy I've been there. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash, something like everyone was just shouting different stuff, and I was like, no one's really making any sense. And all of a sudden, I saw a video of a guy named Richard Hart, and for some reason, he was the only one that actually made sense to me. Like,
Hmm.
he was actually just looking at the situation and saying how it is, instead of being full of their own. Like, he just played with an open, like all his cards open, and everyone else had some other narrative that they were following. That's how it felt, and yeah, just started listening to the guy because he was cool. Then I got wrecked in crypto. Uh,
Well,
but because that guy was actually the only person that was rational, and that actually had something going for him in my mind. Um, I made a promise to myself to start making videos, start building a business instead of just gambling away on the internet. So build a business in videography, but I would only pay attention to that guy, and because he said he was going to create a coin, which is Hex now. Yeah, so I only paid attention to that and was building my business. So that's kind of how crypto went. And then at some point, I just saw Hex. I learned about it. I was like, "Yep, this is it." And yeah, now I'm here, I guess.
Very
Talk
cool.
a little about you getting wrecked. We like to all learn from each other. And we want to make sure our audience hear these stories. A lot of our audience are real estate guys. They're newer into crypto. We even have some no coiners who watch. And so, like, talk about that so
Okay.
we can all learn how not to get wrecked.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's really important. So everyone is joining right now has a giant luxury of having the right people teach you things. I would say, like, I think in 2017, almost no one really was putting good information out except for Richard Hart. Like
Yeah.
that was my experience back then. Sure, there were some people that gave me some practicals of how things work, but not really of how actual markets work and why we are actually here to yeah, we're not here to gamble, we're here to build a completely new financial structure. And a lot of people forget about that. Everyone is just chasing the new highs, and that kind of becomes gambling, and
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely does. Yes.
yeah, for sure. And everyone is very good at packaging their narrative into, oh, this is what is actually true, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's just a marketing scheme to get you to get into paid groups, or to get to buy some trading I don't know, some trading code or whatever. What I really saw is, well, back then I got wrecked because I was just chasing different stuff that people I thought were smarter than me. I was just following them. I
Yep.
was like, yeah, these guys are gonna take care of me, but of course they don't. It doesn't make any sense,
They take
especially
care of
not in a,
themselves.
yeah, exactly. And it's supposed to be like that because you have
Take
to
care of
learn from a
themselves.
market,
They're smart. They're
Yeah,
smart, but
I don't like them, but I
yeah,
guess they're smart. I don't even think they're smart. I think they're very primitive in the way they're thinking,
they're
because
smart but greedy.
yeah, exactly. But that will get you, either it's gonna get you wrecked or it's gonna make you miserable, and that kind of makes you wrecked. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even call them smart. I would just call them primitive, because that's the first thing you're doing, right? You're basically you're just hunting everything into extinction instead of building a better ecosystem. Basically, that's how I would see it. Like, people like us,
I like that
we help
analogy.
other people. We're planting seeds, and we're helping everything around us grow so that we can extract value from it. And a lot of other people are just extracting value and never really planting seeds. So yeah, so that's kind of what happened. I think in crypto you should really be mindful of who's giving you the information, and then you should also just learn very basically why we're here, why DeFi is important. Like, just the basics. It's not even that hard. Like, don't put your money in centralized exchanges. Use DeFi protocols. Make sure that um, there are no admin keys, stuff like that. And I'm sure everyone here has heard that 1,000 times, I think.
Right.
But back then, that wasn't a thing. Back then, only Richard Hart was saying stuff like that. And I learned from him. Most of the other people, they were all like, yeah, just put your money on Binance. It's all good. And it's just not. And a lot of people just lack information. Nowadays, it's kind of a whole lot better, because you have a lot of groups that have information structured of how stuff actually works. Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, I think,
Yeah, I like
yeah.
it. I like the hunting into extinction. In fact, so Corey and I have been working on our TikToks to try to get more traction, to help more people to come in to see the light. And it's funny how many of these guys, and it blows my freaking mind how many of these guys make this content on absolute dog crap. And that seems to be the
Yep.
stuff that gets the most likes and views. I mean, this one guy has this account, millions of views, and he's chasing complete garbage. And it's interesting because like the gambling mentality is there's a lot more sex appeal to it. Gets people really excited. We're
Yeah.
chasing a new pump, and it's just not a way to make any money, which is fascinating. It's interesting how our behavior oftentimes is opposite of what we should do to be able to create freedom and happiness in our lives.
Yeah, isn't that in like almost everything that I see in these markets also applies to the entire universe? As in,
Yep.
like, there's literally no shortcut. You should try, and if you're not trying, if you're just trying to get that quick win or whatever, you're gonna get wrecked. You're just gonna listen to that guy,
Mm,
instead of actually putting the work in, and then you find other people that are also doing that. Like, yeah,
right,
it's just gonna be there,
right. Agreed. I'm with you. We've got a good group on this morning. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We've been MIA for the last week, so it's good to have you guys back on. Jen Hex is here. What's up, Jen Hex? Juan's on. We missed you guys. Yeah, we missed you guys too. It's wild right now out there in the economy. There's lots of things that we can talk about today. Juan is appreciating your work, Proof
Thanks,
of
man.
Beard. He loved the intro video. Very cool. Very cool. Tell me your secrets. Hey, Proof of Beard, he's here to tell them, man. We're excited. We're excited to get into the secrets. I got into crypto to impress women. It's not working. Hey, you came to the wrong place to find women. This is a very male-dominated industry.
I don't think crypto works that well to impress women.
Yeah, you have
I
to
think it's
buy
just there.
and hold and get really wealthy first, and then you can impress women with your money. But that's later.
Yeah, but then you have to ask yourself, do you want to impress
That
women
kind of
that
woman,
are
yeah.
impressed by money? Like,
I get it.
Right. This Corey is much better than the other one. LOL. I don't know. What are they referring to? I'm not
I have
sure.
no idea.
Oh, that's yeah.
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I think this is my little brother. First time on. Looking forward. Absolutely appreciate you being
Stop,
here,
man.
guys. Very cool. So Proof of Beard, I think that you found a really interesting niche. I remember before we had thought about streaming or creating content, it's a little bit of at least for me, it was kind of a concern. What will people think? Is do I have something of importance to say? And I think you've carved out a really cool niche for yourself where you're creating content. We've talked about it personally, but I'd love for you to mention specifically what you're doing today and the skill set. You mentioned it briefly, but what you're doing for the community now.
Yeah, so yeah, just to make the whole story, just to tell the whole story, I was studying business administration when I was, I don't know, 18-ish, yeah, a few years ago. And yeah, at some point, like, it's a study of 4 years, and at the third year or something, I just looked at I was in crypto and I wanted to help other projects because I thought it was cool what people were doing. And then I reached out to a guy and I said, "Hey, I want to help." And he said, "Perfect. What can you do?" And that was it. Like, then I started to think by myself, I've spent like 18 years or something in the school system, and I can't do anything. Like, there's no skill that I could offer this guy. So that was kind of weird to me. So I just started to learn different stuff, website development, just to see what I like to do. And at some point, I just landed at videos. Then I actually made the very strong decision. I decided between teaching snowboarding,
Okay.
being a snowboard teacher, or picking up a camera. So for the same amount of money, I could either buy a camera or like get a license to teach snowboarding. And eventually I bought a camera, because I thought, well, I either can snowboard, or either I have to snowboard and I have to teach people, or I spend some time doing this camera thing, and then I earn so much money that I can snowboard whenever I want. So I kind of did that. I picked up a camera, just did a lot of video stuff. Within a year, I was traveling the world with public speakers, just making small documentaries of them. Yeah, that was going pretty well, but then Rona started, and I couldn't. Yeah, like all the gigs were off, which was interesting because it just took off. I was invited to go to like 4 or 5 different countries all over the world, but they all got canceled. Yeah, so then I started teaching people how to make videos online. I created a small community on Facebook back then, just to teach people how to make better videos of themselves. And then I stopped doing that because I found I was just pressing buttons to get more money out of people, and I just didn't really feel good. I helped the people, and I didn't want to lead them on like a lot of online coaches do. A lot of them just leech as much as possible out of people, even though those people already know what's up. That's how I felt, at least, and also a lot of clients they felt the same, and it just wasn't fun anymore. And it also happened that I understood Hex at that moment, and I was like, I'm just going to be in this community now because I can see that there are a lot of cool people in here, like actual. It's very strange that the smart people in crypto go to Hex, basically. Like you see smart people, but most of them are actually book smart or smart in a very specific niche that they're very good at. But I've seen the highest quality of skills, or the highest amount of skills, in this community, and I saw that, and I saw how good the community was. So I figured, well, I should I should contact these people and start doing some streams as well, and just see how I can help people, because I'm a video coach guy, so I can help people with videos.
Cool.
So I started doing that, and just got befriended a lot of Mexicans, and I really got in the core of the whole community, and I met a lot of people. I met Richard 3 times, I think. I even I live streamed the second anniversary of Hex in London.
Okay.
So I drove all the equipment to London, and then I set up the live stream, which was actually better than the live act, because the speakers didn't really work on the event itself. So eventually the live stream kind of saved it for a lot of people. So that was cool. Yeah. So
is Richard cool in real life?
Yeah, he's cool, man. I really like him. He's just very chill, and you can really notice that he's trying to get people comfortable with him, as in he actually does extra things just so that people are comfortable, and that's really cool. Yeah, I remember in Switzerland there was someone was there at the meetup with a dog, and we were in a hotel, and then Richard went out of his way to go to someone and ask if they could grab some water for the dog, stuff like that. He's just like, on top of that, the whole room is watching him, and the whole room is wanting to talk to him. The fact that you decide to do something like that already tells me enough. Yeah, so stuff like that just makes me feel comfortable with the guy, and he's just a really cool dude. But yeah, so long story short, I just started to make videos for Mexicans, and because I noticed that Mexicans are the best clients in the entire world. Like, everyone is so chill around. Like, the one thing I hated the most in just doing business, just in general, just making art projects, because basically those intros are art projects. I just make art.
Right.
The most depressing thing in just doing business in art is that people are kind of finicky around money. They want the thing, but then they want to spend as little money as possible on it, and that makes you have to spend less time on your art, and then it becomes sucky, and then people start to whine about it. because it's not good, because they didn't pay me enough to put enough money or enough time in, and I've literally never had that moment in my time with the Hexicans. Everyone's just like, I
Really?
want a cool intro.
Huh.
I don't know what, but you make cool intros, so just make it, and yeah, just tell me when it's done and tell me how much money it is, and I'll just pay, and it's all good. Like there's so little stress in working with these people, and you guys as well. I mean, look how our process was. You send me a message, hey, I want an intro. Okay, let's have a call. Okay, what's it gonna cost? Okay, cool. You want to make okay, so you make a cool intro now? Yeah. When it's done? 2 weeks, I guess. Okay, and now it's done. Like
That's
that's
easy.
literally how it went. It's not, yeah. So I
Right.
really appreciate, and I don't even try because everyone is just coming at me because everyone wants intros, and it's so cool that I don't have to do all these things or have to hard sell anyone. Everyone just wants it, and then we have a cool conversation and we make something cool. Like, you don't find that anywhere. So I'm so grateful every time someone sends me a message like, hey, can you make a video for me? Because this sustains me. Like, the only thing I do as a business is helping Hexicans. And yeah, that just makes me very happy because everyone's so chill. And for some reason, I got into this situation where I can just make art and be grateful for the people that support me. And that's, yeah, I can talk ages about that. It's so cool that that's a thing. Yeah.
Very cool. We I think this is the next direction to go. He said we have some example
Let-
intros. Yeah,
Let's
you've
play
done
ours
a,
again
yeah,
because
you've done a bunch of
Yeah,
we'll
play it again, man.
ours. Yeah, let's
play
do
ours
that. So,
again.
yeah, we'll do ours. Let's do an example there, and then we can talk. He's done a bunch
I
of
can
really cool
we
videos for some other people in the community too.
What might be fun is show the intro and then we talk a little bit about
What the meaning behind it?
yeah, what the meaning
Yeah,
is of the intro
I like
or
that.
how we
Okay.
got there.
Cool. I like it. I'll go ahead and play it real quick. Very
Yeah,
cool.
just get you hyped up, doesn't it?
It
Very
does.
cool. That's excellent. So yeah, Corey, do you want to kind of talk about the idea behind the video, kind of what you and I were trying to get after?
Yeah, it was the whole vision of our community of using cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and then kind of circling back into real estate as a wealth preservation tool. Me and you are both from the real estate space and kind of made the transition to crypto right now because we saw the opportunity. And I love how like the video starts out. It's got our logo eating up all the cryptos and it's got the little yield thing in there, and it's a lot of the cryptos that we like, right? It's all the stuff that we are participating in right now. And then you can see the city with the real estate and the buildings and kind of circling back into that. And that's how I see the whole intro. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like Proof of Beard said, I really appreciate how easy it was. We literally gave a concept and we did a little intro. We gave a concept of like, hey, here's what we want to do. Here's kind of some ideas. There was a little bit of back and forth, but not much, which was really
Right.
nice. And then yeah, a couple weeks it was done and that was it. So we really appreciated the ease of use. And I like how Proof of Beard said, he told us, he's like, I literally just work for Hexicans, or I should say with Hexicans. And I was like, oh, what a cool niche, what a cool way to be able to like bring
Live your
value to the
life.
community.
Like, yeah, just work with the best crypto community that there possibly is, right? Like that, like to make that decision and still make a good living doing that. You're living
It's something,
the
isn't
best
it?
life. Yeah, you're living your best life.
The funny thing is that every time I finish a project and there's nothing on my list of to-dos, for every time I think, okay, that's it. No one wants more videos anymore because everyone kind of has an intro or doesn't want one. And then every single time someone comes at me again and it's like, hey, can we make something? I'm like, yes, of course we can.
Really?
Yeah,
Your stream of work has been relatively steady then.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the funny
Cool.
thing. Like I don't do any marketing. Like, yeah, other than just these streams or whatever. Just every streamer just talks to each other, and
Word of
everyone's
mouth.
like, yeah, this guy makes good videos, and it's easy to work with him. So I guess we'll go with him. And it often I also end up hanging out with my clients, just well, doing stuff like this, just having good conversations. And I guess people just like that, like it's not just making a video, it's a whole it's an interaction with me, and you
Yeah.
just want to be happy about it, and you don't want to think about it too much, but you also want to have a nice intro. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of
I
what I
first
provide.
heard about you, and it's funny because Dane had already contacted you, and I was about to tell Dane within a day or two when we were going to talk, but I heard about you from Randy Hilarski, and you made his intro, which was freaking sick. And I was like, and he was talking about it, and I was like, man, I gotta. And I reached out. I commented on Randy's on YouTube that day, like, hey, bro, like that was sick. How do I get in touch? He's like, yeah, just DM me and I can put you in touch with him. Like later the next day, Dane's like, hey, I have this guy, and I'm like, who is it? And they're like, Proof of Beard. I was like, oh my god, that's the same guy I was gonna try to get in contact with. And so yeah, man.
Yeah, that's how it goes. People just know my name, and that's the cool thing. Like, I'm not even streaming that much, or I'm not doing that much
I
outward
anticipate
messaging.
though, Proof
What?
of Beard, I anticipate that you're gonna get crazy busy starting 2024. Like
Could
going
be.
into the next bull market, maybe even after Pulsechain, like after like the hype has kind of brought in a lot more retail into the ecosystem, and then like we start the next bull market. I imagine you're gonna blow up because that's when you're gonna see a lot of new streamers come out of the woodwork. You're gonna see
Uh-huh.
just the whole ecosystem come alive. So you're probably about to get really busy here.
It's what I noticed in the bull market as well. In what was it, 2021? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the bear hit, and I was like, okay, this it's done. No one wants to pay me for videos anymore, I guess, because no one has the money anymore. But then you just underestimate how much money people have, and also how something like this, it actually just helps a lot of people, just having an intro like this. It also gets you hyped for your own show
It
when
does.
you're
Yeah.
starting, and you can actually show people. And yeah, it's just every time there's just someone else that finds that value in it, and every time, yeah, sure, let's make it. And the cool thing is, I don't sometimes have a waiting list, but almost never, because every time, because also I work faster and faster. I get really good in doing this stuff really quickly. So yeah, it's yeah, I hope I'll be busy. It would be cool. Cool thing is also I'm growing a food forest in Portugal right now. And yeah, so all the money that I earn also goes to growing forests, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, but before you talk about that, let's get into that. I want to hear more about that. Um, Fast Abdul says only intros, or can they be longer, like explainer videos?
Yeah,
Liquid One is
anything,
a good
man.
one.
I also sometimes people just want me to make like what's it called, infographics videos, just an explainer video. Yeah, I can make animations of whatever you'd like. Basically, because every time I also use new techniques in my videos, most of the time they're not the same. I just keep on learning, and I'm getting to a point where I can pretty much make anything you would like digitally, which is pretty cool, because every time someone's like, "Can we make this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess we can find out." Yeah.
Cool. So you're the guy. Anything that anybody needs. So you guys heard it here first. If you need anything as far as videos or infographics, things like that, Proof of Beards is the guy. So make sure
But you
to.
got to be a Hexican.
Yep, got to
So
be
go
an
buy some hacks and then call Proof of Beard.
Yep, absolutely. And I think it's cool in crypto. Everybody has a little bit different vision for, what they hope to accomplish. Everybody wants mad gains. But then, I think it's fascinating to see what's the plan for the mad gains. Money's great, but you get to this place in life where you've bought most of what you want, and if you don't keep it under control, this buying mentality can consume you to a point where you feel like you always have to be buying something to get the endorphin hit, and life needs to be about purpose. And so, Proof of Beard, you talked to us before privately kind of about the purpose behind what you're after. I think it's cool to share that. So yeah, talk to us about that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, it's basically what you said. You can make all the gains in the world, but at some point, it's just another number. Like, it's important to sustain yourself, but I really set myself down and I was like, so what happens if you have literally all the money in the world? Like, I'm talking billions. Just as a hypothetical question, like, what would you do then? Pretty much nothing different. Like, you just still eat and you drink, and you want a house, probably the same house because it's nice to be in one place. Maybe you travel, that's all fine, but even then, like, what else are you gonna do? Like, is there really a difference between 1 billion and 500 million or something? Like, is there really? For some people, yes, but I think most people no, because you're still going to buy your peanut butter or whatever. Like, so I just asked myself that as well, and that was my answer. Like, no, nothing, because I like my old car, stuff like that. I'm not gonna buy a new one. So then I asked myself, okay, so why am I here then? Because if I don't care about that money, then why even bother doing all this stuff? And yeah, I don't know, because I can, and because I understand it, and because I think everyone here has some kind of moral obligation of pushing this new financial structure forward, because we understand, and we understand why it is important. And so that's kind of why I'm doing it. And then with the gains, I the only thing I can think of is just buy land so that people can't mess it up anymore. Like, just buy land and grow forests on it, or help ecosystems thrive in those places. That's kind of the only, because yeah, what, I don't know, I don't have anything else to do, basically. That's, yeah.
I love it. What's the so what's the when you say grow forest, is it more of like a forest, or is there farming to it? Is there a self-sustainability kind of
Food.
intention
Yeah.
there? Food,
Yeah.
talk us through
Yeah,
what
that's
that looks
for
like.
sure. For sure, I want to sustain myself in everything that I want. I kind of want to make and grow everything myself, just because I need to learn it again, because everyone forgot, and I kind of want to make it a thing to just learn it again.
Mm.
And to Because also, crypto is just one part of taking responsibility back to myself, because most people have learned not to take responsibility and just go to a supermarket or whatever and buy food, whatever way it has been created. There's food now, and I'm gonna buy it. There's not a lot of responsibility in there. Like, you just buy it, and you're just the end consumer of that thing. um and just the same with financials. Everyone's just trusting the banks, or everyone's just working a job, and their employer is paying the taxes, so they don't really see the taxes. So it's all, they don't feel anything with it. They don't understand it, but they don't want to understand it either. And it's like, there's no real responsibility in you getting that money, other than you go to work every day. um, just as crypto is taking responsibility back to you, because you become the bank, and you have to store your private keys, and you have to take the measurements to keep that money. Just like that, I want to take responsibility back to myself, to create the best food that I can create, to create the best relationships with the people around me, because everything and everyone around me is getting sick because of the shitty food that everyone's eating, and the shitty relationships that everyone is having, because probably they haven't been eating the right food, because they haven't been in the forest. So I just it's just another step in me taking responsibility for being on this earth. I'm not here to just comply with everything and to just follow one narrative that someone tells me. I'm here to be somewhat a steward of this planet, because there's a reason I think people are people, and we have actual minds and bodies that can help this this earth, I guess, for ourselves as well, but also for everything around us. It's the same where what I said in the beginning of the stream is more important to help everything and everyone around you win than it is to make yourself win. Because if I make everything win around me, there's no way I'm gonna lose. Like there's literally no way. And so if you just focus on that, you'll be fine. And that's where I want to take it. So I guess I'll just pick one place where I'm gonna live. Just do the whole, just make everything for myself sustainable, and then I guess with surplus of money, if there is any, would be cool. Then just buy land so that no one touches it, or get the right people on it that also want to live in my eyes, the right way. You know.
Yeah. What a cool vision. Love it. Love it. Love the vision. I had never thought about going to being responsible for your food. I mean, I roll into the grocery store on autopilot, buy whatever.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I hadn't considered being more responsible in that respect. That's interesting.
Oh, he's being a person of value, right? And this is like a lot of the entrepreneur mindsets that we all have, that we learned being an entrepreneur, is that we have to create value before we even want to make money, right? We want to lead with value first, and how to make everyone win around us, how we can create value in the world where we can contribute to humanity, which is what he's talking about in his own way. And so we all have our own different sauce that we can do, or flavor that we can add into, creating value to humanity. And so it's amazing that you're that's part of your mission and part of like who you are, because we're all about that, is how can we help everyone win? How can we create the most value as possible? Making money's last. We'll make money regardless. It's going to happen. It's like, we can't help but not make money if you're creating value and helping humanity win.
Pretty much, yeah. And if you don't get money, you probably get food or shelter or whatever.
Exactly, you're gonna get something.
You're gonna get something.
All money does for anybody is amplify who the person you already are. And so if you're an amazing person and you love creating value, well, the money's going to amplify that. And then that will amplify more money, and then vice versa. If you're a bad person and you get money, then it amplifies how bad you are in life. And so that's the beautiful thing about money, is that all it does is amplify. And same with if you're a happy person, money will amplify that. If you're a sad, depressed person, money's going to amplify that. And so you got to be careful. And so you have to have the right mindset in place before trying to go after and obtain wealth and keeping wealth. And so this is part of that piece of the puzzle. It's so important to have your purpose grounded before going after wealth, or you end up like the lottery winners that you always hear about, or the football players who end up doing drugs and killing themselves or killing somebody else. You hear so many stories. It's because they weren't mentally prepared for that wealth.
Yeah. Spot on. So you've been around the crypto space for a while, Proof of Beards. I think this is a good question. Love your feedback on this one. There's a lot of speculation about people feeling like a Q3, Q4 dump. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of people even say like 10K Bitcoin at that point, and that'll be the local, or that'll be the cycle bottom, and then the bull run begins. What are your thoughts and feelings on this idea?
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't really seen that before, that idea, but I guess could be. Wait, let me pull up the Bitcoin chart. I haven't really looked at it. Like the way I see markets, most of the time I don't really care, because either if it's going down, I'll just wait longer and get more yield. It's like doesn't really matter, So I'm not one of the guys that is constantly checking all the charts, because that's also one of the reasons why Hex was created. just to. I can remember I once talked to Dev Kyle, one of the devs in that was in Hex. He was the guy who pretty much initiated the T-share system, or pretty much constructed.
Yeah, he is.
I was talking with him, and he was like, he said, "Yeah, we made Hex so that no one would have to pay attention to charts, and can just do important stuff in life, other than just trying to trade the next best thing, you know." And what we created actually made people look more at numbers, because now they're so excited about this thing that they keep on making data sets and whatever, you know, for just Hex. And
plenty of things to watch, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, what I would say, like, if you look at macro, where I don't know what's gonna happen with the dollar. Also, I just saw something on Twitter. I don't think I can find it back now, but I saw something on Twitter where it said that the United States is gonna sell an insane amount of Bitcoin that they confiscated from, I think, the Silk Road or something. They're gonna do that in 4 steps, so they're gonna sell that. I don't know what's gonna happen with the Mt. Gox thing. I think it's gonna be delayed. But there's just a lot of stuff to sell, you know.
Right.
And the way I see it is, altcoins, it's definitely running, you know, like you can see all the excitement. And I guess we can pull up the Wall Street cheat sheet, because it always works.
Yeah.
Because if you look at where we are right now, there would probably be like some kind of pump, you know, like hope, I guess. I don't think we're gonna get a lot lower than we already have, especially not in Hex. I don't think we're gonna go lower than that.
I agree with that on the Hex part and our ecosystem, and just in general. Like, I don't think we're going to see another low. I mean, it's always possible. It's not financial advice, guys. We're just three dudes on the internet talking about what we think.
Just a beard.
Yeah, proof of beard. I mean, I feel like our ecosystem has bottomed, but there's definitely a possibility we can see another leg down.
But people say 10K.
Yeah, with the macroeconomics and everything, and just how everything is playing out with the banks and all this other. There's a lot of stuff going on in the economy. It could happen. Will it? I don't know. It's hard to say, man.
So let's put it this way, FOMO phobic. Either that's gonna happen, and maybe you can buy the dip in that, or you just get in and then you earn yield for the entirety, because we know bull run is gonna happen. Like, there's too much value in this system to not have a bull run or a next bull run. It's just a waiting game. Like, I see, for example, Icosa, you know, I see it going down and down and down and down. I'm like, oh, this is better and better and better and better. Just, I want people to be oblivious of what is there for as long as possible, because I'm gaining that yield every single day. 100%. And I know we're in the right position. So then nothing else is there to do but hold and wait. Like, it's such a beautiful thing about yield, because I can remember in 2017, I was just holding Bitcoin. I was like, I'll just wait. I don't care if price goes down. I'll just wait, because it's gonna be fine anyways. The annoying thing is you don't get any yield. Like, my patience doesn't get rewarded at all.
I know, right?
It gets punished. But here, when Hex went down 95%, I was still up like 5 or 6x or something like that.
And thank God it
did. And that's not because I bought so low. That's because I got yield. Like, all those days that I just waited. It's just waiting. It's not, I don't do anything. I just wait. It's a beautiful thing.
It's fascinating in crypto that if, like, you mess up a buy opportunity, you just need to wait longer. As long as you're in good assets, I'll speculate a little bit here. Once again, like Corey said, no financial advice. You've got to make your own decisions, do your own research. I think with you guys, I think we've seen the hex bottom. Like,
I think so too.
I just don't think there's any more sellers.
That.
I don't think there's any more I should say, I don't think there's enough sellers to sell it down past 1.7 cents. I just don't. I think that a lot of those guys that were going to, they already did. We're seeing, the excitement around Pulsechain. Now be careful out there because, on the east side of Hex, we could see some massive dumping. I'd be really surprised if we didn't see some dumping and some early end staking on the east side with people trying to bridge over to Pulsechain. I don't think that's necessarily the best idea. It's certainly, I'm not capitulating and ending all my stakes early on the east side when Pulsechain comes out. I don't think any of you guys are. And so, like, once again, do your own due diligence and figure out the best strategy for you. But yeah, I think we're long past the hex bottom. It sounds like the Mt. Gox coins are going to come out over time. And so I don't think there will be a massive shock to Bitcoin. I don't think that we'll get to 10K Bitcoin. I just don't. I feel pretty,
I don't really see
confident about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. Yeah. Where would you guys say we're on the Wall Street cheat sheet? Where are we at in this?
I think with the economy and with interest rates and with Bitcoin, I think we could see 11K Bitcoins. I'm a little against that ideology. I think we've bottomed in Hex and I think we bottomed in our ecosystem, but I think we could experience more pain. I really believe that we're coming out of the anger stage. And the only reason why I say that, and that's where that pump is right.
All right.
The only reason why I say that is because the true crash in the economy is always happened after the Fed pivots, and we haven't had a Fed pivot yet. And when the Fed pivots, that's when you see the all-time low in the S&P 500. And as long as Bitcoin is somewhat correlated to S&P 500, I don't know if it's going to detach or not, but as long as it's correlated to S&P 500, I don't think we've seen the max pain in the S&P 500 yet. That's why I say Bitcoin could hit 11K.
Okay.
I think that's a reasonable thought process. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Post in the comments. What do you guys think? Where do you think we're at in the Wall Street cheat sheet? Really curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I think you make a great point, Corey. Usually the market, it capitulates after. I think one of the narratives that I heard that I'm curious to see play out, and we kind of saw it with the banks, banks showing weakness a couple of weeks ago, people moving to crypto.
I love. Woo,
yeah,
that was hot, man. Bitcoin and everything pumped. Hex freaking mooned off of that. Oh, man. And so it could happen where we see crypto decouple this time from S&P capitulating. It's possible that we don't go through that last I don't know, or Richard Hart could be right and 11K still coming.
What I think is that if that happens, if Bitcoin goes to like 10K, I don't really see Hex going down with it. I see it going down a lot, because it's somewhat semi-correlated. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But because all of the other stuff on crypto isn't really crypto and is mostly traded on centralized exchanges, there's a lot of games going on there, and that's I think why the legacy finance markets are correlated to most of cryptos, because most of the big players in crypto hold all the crypto, as in those are the centralized exchanges. But then if you look at Hex, it's such a strange phenomenon that Hex is kind of almost the only crypto out there, together with its own ecosystem. If you look at how much Hex is being traded on actual decentralized websites and systems, you have to wonder, like, when are sellers going to be done? Like, sure, we got an insane drop off, but I think that was just because the system needed that. I don't think that's because the world was in a bear market. Because if you look at the charts, Hex started its downturn earlier than the rest of the market. It started like a full month earlier or something, or 2 or 3 weeks earlier,
Right.
and that's significant. Like that means that it's doing its own thing. And like you said, I don't think there's gonna be enough sellers because everyone's gonna be like, I can buy money printers at 2 cents. Perfect.
Right. I know I'd
Right.
be buying them. I did
And
buy
and
them.
there's no real leverage in that, like there's just buying and selling. And that's so I think. And then if you think about that, then the entire world is gonna burn, and Hex is going to be that, well, shining city on a hill, just
It
sitting
is.
there relaxing, making that yield. Like that's gonna bump us even further because, well, we're basically the only place you can still be safe of all the fire, basically.
I mean,
Right.
it's crazy that may sound. I feel like the economies and that anger coming out of that anger stage might have one more leg down. Where we're in the Hex ecosystem, it's going to be like we're in this disbelief stage
Mhm.
because we're all in disbelief that Pulsechain's about to come. Like we're almost like ahead of the rest of the world, if you will, just because of Pulsechain, because of Pulsechain's coming out and all the hype and the community we have, the community bonded together is obviously what gives us value, amazing value, and it's lifting us up ahead of what everything else is going on in the marketplace. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a beautiful
Homophobic
thing.
says they're buying Hex at 5 cents or less. I think there's a lot of buyers at 5 cents or
Oh
less.
my god, I'm one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no reason why not. Like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 cents. I didn't even see that like this quick. It's so amazing. Like
It-
it
Yeah,
when
It's wild.
Hex hit like 4 or 5 cents and it still went up. My mind told me again, it's doing it again. It's doing the 2020 thing or the 2021 thing. It just keeps on going. That's what Hex does for some
yeah,
reason. Like
it
it's so
does. And
strange.
we had a little sell off after V3, but it wasn't that bad actually. We went down to like the
No,
7 cent
it's fine.
range, and yeah, I mean,
It's
it just kind of
perfect.
7 cents, and now we're kind of that. Man, it was beautiful.
You know what I found interesting? If you, I don't know if you've seen it, but I did a stream with Access Alive about sacred geometry and about numerology and stuff. But that's one of the things why I got into Hex as well, is because just everything was on point with the 3.69% inflation and the logo that has 3 hexagons. So you get three sixes, and that makes 18, then becomes 9. Basically, you can. It was a really cool stream. But what we found on that stream is if you go back historically in the chart of Hex and remember, everything is on chain and nothing has been tampered with on that chart, basically. But if you go to the chart, Hex tends to have its major support and resistance levels at either 3 cents, 6 cents, or 9 cents. And then if you look back,
And
there's even a wick at the top of Hex that wick to 60 cents. So it actually, like, you should check that out. It was like 60.6 cents or something, where it actually,
Oh yeah, I saw the
like,
stream. Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
was
remember
crazy,
that.
man. And if you look at it again right now, we're sitting at 9 cents, and there's this giant, like, there's a lot of resistance and support being built right now around the 9 cents range. And I'm looking at the chart right now. If you look back, there's a wick after V3 that wicked down to 6.3 cents. And it's just stuff like that just blows my mind. But yeah, it's
that is
just interesting
amazing.
that it's right now, while I'm streaming, it's again at one of those numbers. Like, it's funny.
Very interesting.
It does something interesting because this is literally only market participation. It's not centralized exchanges messing with it and just trading back and forth and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this is actual patterns that you can see, and that's what fascinates me about the Hex chart.
Very interesting. Do you have any insights on when you think we'll see Pulsechain launch? Any feelings on that?
2 more weeks. I think. I don't know, man. I've been waiting for so long. I don't. Yeah, I don't really care, man. Like it's gonna come when it's coming, and I just the way I see it is kind of the only um opportunity to get things right, because I don't believe in Ethereum at all. We're just using it, but I don't. You're not gonna tell me that something in crypto that has board members that are listed in on the World Economic Forum website. You can't you you will not tell me that that organization is a good organization for us. And also, I don't think the
Agreed.
proof of stake just kind of further centralized the entire system.
Mhm.
Where
And
Ethereum it did. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so basically they can just turn it off whenever they want, I guess, like in some way, or just censor transactions and stuff like that. It just gets kind of scary. And when I see Pulsechain, I actually see a system that could actually work without those quote unquote overlords that want to control everything. You know, you still you're always going to have forces that are strong that will dictate how markets go, but at least it's gonna be not with an organization that I already know is fucking evil to the bone.
Right.
I guess. Yeah.
Right. No, I like that. I respect that. Talk to us about. So we're probably at a place where it makes sense to start wrapping up. One thing I did want to
Sure.
ask you before we did is I wanted to get your insights on Richard's. On Richard's outrage marketing, because you came into Hex because you liked him as a level-headed thinker, giving the right information. How'd you feel about the outrage marketing?
I was just laughing the whole way, man. Because I met the guy, you know, like when you actually meet people, you know, kind of what they're about, you know. And when I saw all the, so in the beginning, I've seen all the knowledge that he has, and the way that he has this role in his life to just kind of fix the material world, as in fix the money, fix the world kind of thing. And he's so insanely dedicated. Like in my mind, I don't think that guy can do anything else but to do this thing and this stuff. And I've seen the knowledge that he speaks on those things. And when he was doing the outrage marketing, I wasn't really agreeing, because I just saw ways that it could be different without all that energy into stupid stuff, basically. But also, I was like, yeah, sure. If you want to do this thing, just do this thing. I don't. There's a reason why I'm in Hex, and it's not because Richard is cool. It's because it's immutable and it works. And then I just got there because of Richard. It's not like, oh, Richard is doing stupid stuff. Now I don't like Hex anymore. That's not what it is at all. And if that's the case with someone, you don't understand, and you shouldn't be in this space anyways, or join later. You know, like that's just how it's gonna be. Um, yeah, I mean, sure, do the outrage marketing. Everyone will forget anyways, because whatever you do right now, in a half a year, if you do something else, everyone will remember you for that, because everyone has such a short attention span. If
Yeah.
Rich would go into a Twitter space right now and just spit really cool knowledge, then everyone would love him for it, and no one will ask, hey, wasn't this the guy who did the outrage marketing? Yeah, some people will say it, but no one sees it, and so no one feels it, and so no one cares. Like
Mm.
how it goes on the internet and with just humans.
What would you say
Yeah.
to people that are concerned about Hex because of Richard's outrage marketing? What would you say to them?
Just check out the code, like just
Yep.
start understanding the system, and start understanding that sure, yes, maybe he has a big part in the system, but look at all the other guys. Like I don't think there's any other guy that you would want in that position, because he's trying, man. Like he's even making himself a clown because he thinks it might work. Like you can also look at it like that, you know. And he's also a human. He also has character, and he also likes to mess around. Like if I would have $1 billion, you wouldn't see me in a suit just being all correct and stuff. I would just do whatever I want, and especially if I created the biggest appreciating asset in the history of man.
Mm.
Like, I wouldn't give shit either. Like, sure, just go back to the old streams and start understanding where he came from, and then you might understand what he did now. And you might not agree, but at least you would understand, I guess.
I like that.
Guys, smash the likes and hit the bell notification if you like this. Help our algorithm to push our content out there, and we thank you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if people want to get a hold of you, Proof of Beard, to be able to get help with videos or content creation, things of that nature, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, on Twitter. So it's either ProofOfBeardOnly1 or LandWills-only1, because Twitter doesn't want to update my @name for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, that, and I don't know. The people that need me will find me. Like, that's pretty much how I do things. So yeah.
Cool. Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys tuning in today. We are going, the schedule's been wild. I've got spring break next week for my family. So did you want to do any streaming next week, Corey? We hadn't talked about this.
We can take it off if you want.
Yeah.
I have guests lined up, and I just want to make sure I'll get them all scheduled out at the right time so we can both be on there with them. So
yeah, so we might do some surprise streams next week, but the plan is right now to be off next week to hang out with our families when we back on. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for being on.
Play the outro. Play the video.
Wait. I want to say one more thing.
Yes.
Because I always forget this, but me and my brother, we have a lo-fi hip-hop channel that combines hip-hop beats with Mexican streamers. It's called Steak and Chill. You should go there on YouTube and subscribe, because it's really cool. You can just listen to music and learn stuff about Hex. So I just wanted to give that shout out. Steak and Chill.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so go check that out, guys. Love it. Love it. So many ways to plug in. You can get in where you fit in with the Hex community. And so once again, guys, we appreciate you. We'll catch you later.
Play it.
Outro. Play.